Hey guys, welcome to the Art of Comics. I'm your host, Andre Salazar. We are continuing the Alex Toth deep dive series. This is episode 10? I'm not sure. I think it's 9 or 10. I have to go look. It'll say that though in the title, so you know more than me at this point. I'm loving doing these. These are just so much fun. Every Saturday, we're pumping these out. I'm getting sad because we're coming down towards the end. We only got maybe 2 or 3 left. And then what am I going to do? I don't know. I'm going to probably talk about Robert Fawcett and Noel Sickles and Robert McGinnis and do that kind of stuff, I think. Or maybe I'll go through every episode of Walking Dead. I don't know. We're going to do something, though. Don't you worry. But this has been fun because it's a way for me to learn and really deep dive into a creator's life, their work, and learn from it, extract from it. You know, he's not here. So all I get to do is just look at what he's done and try to like reverse engineer it, right? And use it for my own work. And it helps me appreciate, the art form more. So I hope you guys are enjoying it as much as I am doing it. So I appreciate you guys so much for watching. All that said, let's get into Creepy. This is published by Dark Horse. It retails at $20. And I'm a huge fan of Creepy and Eerie. I got a bunch of those books. Now, just to tell you a little bit about this, Alex worked, because he wanted to work with Archie Goodwin. So Archie and Alex really were simpatico creatively. They worked together. He did this work for these magazines for Warren Publishing for 2 years. So this is that collection of the work he did for 2 years. Most of this is him doing all the art, but there are some where he is doing the inks, and I'll show you, and you'll probably be able to tell. But one of the great things is the versatility and the way that he was able to change his style. That's what I love about this. And I talked about it before in a previous episode where as he's working for Standard or DC or Dell or whatever, he really is changing his style. My gosh, dude, he does that. And in this one book, you see all the styles. I love it. I'm not going to go into the stories because it would make this really long video. And we're trying to do these all in like 15 minutes so that they're bite-sized. Okay? Although, wouldn't be against it. I wouldn't be against that at all. Okay, here we go. He's using these tones, which I like. You can see his face. I think one of the things that's interesting is, and I don't know if when he does these face, if they're just markers. They can't be brush. So I'm going to say they're markers. So he's using, I'm just going to call it, he's using either a big rapidograph, because these are blown up, right? Or shrunken down. It must be either a big rapidograph or some sort of a marker, because there's no line variation in those. And so that makes it a little bit harder to do with inks. I did like this story, this kind of Will Eisner kind of look. This is kind of fun. He does put texture. He plays around with different things to use texture. This could be one of those like pastel guys. Where's my or grease pencil type? Like it could be like something like this, which is one of these peel and like a charcoal, right? So I know like Jakin uses these, I think. So it could be that. I'm not sure. It's hard to tell sometimes what exactly. And then he's using maybe some sort of a wash. I don't know. It could even be duotone. It's just blackened out or, grayscaled. Really kind of interesting, innovative like choices with lettering and panel. This whole panel composition, and I actually like this story a lot. It's about somebody who thinks he's an alien, but it turns out, he's thinking there's aliens around him, but it's actually he is the alien, and the aliens have come to get him, to bring him back, which I thought was a really interesting idea. And he's like, no, dude, look in the mirror. You're the alien. We come for you. We come because you're part of us. That was kind of cool. Love this panel here. I love the action. Again, perfect for EC Comics. Great shadows again. We're going to talk about those drop shadows all the time because he does a great job of it. And this is different. I mean, this is, again, I'm going to talk about Gene Colan sometimes when I talk about these, because he did some work for this. And these panels, these kind of dynamic panels, is something Gene Colan would do a lot. I actually have a page. I'll grab it real quick here. So this is something I made. So this is like something Gene Colan would do, and he, this isn't exhaustive, but this is just like an example of 9 different types of page compositions that he would do, right? And I just kind of studied this, and I said, okay, this is how he would like set up some page compositions. And I see Alex doing a lot of that too, and I thought that was kind of an interesting little note about that. He doesn't do it with all of it. I mean, a lot of it actually is more kind of classic storyboard kind of 4x2 panel page layout, but I do like these dynamic. It's kiltered. It's almost as though it makes it a like a Dutch angle. Okay, so there's that. Here's another story. No tones, no values, just black and white. But really well done. If you like anthology stuff, if you like these little short 8-page, 4-page horror stories, definitely say get eerie and creepy. I actually like it better than the EC stuff. I know that's sacrilege, but I do. And you got Toth here, which is a lot of fun. That's Humphrey Bogart. His is kind of a fun story where he kind of used some celebrities, Humphrey Bogart, a couple people. Yeah, look at that face. This is great. I do like the value stuff. This is great, the black and white, but I do like the values. It just adds an extra dimension to it. I don't know if that's Katharine Hepburn. I can't remember who that is, but I don't think it's Katharine Hepburn. It's somebody. Great faces and stuff. Look at that. Just great. And he could draw the fedora so well. I'm a big fan of that. Some of these he actually wrote as well. This is very different kind of a story. So you can just see how the style changes. You know, and here's a story and art. So he did both for this one. Of course, freaking planes, right? It's kind of a flying saucer deal. This, for some reason, I think of Richard Corbin. Richard Corbin would make rocks like this for things like Den. So it kind of reminds me a little bit of that. And this is all brushwork here, which you wouldn't always see him put that big brushwork in there. That's interesting. Yeah. Here's another one. This is all Toth as well. I love these faces. This is like some of my favorite things here. Look at this. This panel into here. Look at that. You see exactly, there's like only 8 lines there, but you know exactly what's happening. It is a flip around. They're accompanying like different movements of the jump. And then the click of the heels. I mean, and this big huge splash. Just, this is so amazing. Love it. It's the Buster Keaton type of kind of thing. Here's another one. This is, again, very different. Great look, though. Great work. I wish he was able to do more. I wish he had, 3 times as much of this work, because I think he's firing on all cylinders. He's working with a collaborator he respects, and you got some really great storytelling stuff. There's a couple others. Yeah, this with the smallpox one was fascinating too. Look at this one, how he's just using blacks and whites with just a fine pin line, and then the deep blacks here. Looks like a completely different artist. Wouldn't you say this looks like somebody totally different? Comment below. Tell me what you think. This looks like, I don't know. I mean, it looks like the European guy, Jose Munoz or something almost, right? A little bit of that, maybe. Or Sin City. Although it'd be the reverse, right? Sin City would take this. But yeah, I think Munoz is the one I'm thinking of, that Sin City. There's a lot of that. Some of that Keith Giffen stuff, too. No shadows here, just line work. And then you got the black boots. Black there. So the spotting of blacks is perfect. Always silhouettes. I never realized until really today and yesterday looking at his stuff, he uses a lot of silhouettes. And, you know, part of it could be speed. Could literally be, hey man, this makes things a lot quicker. But I think it works really well. I don't know if you can use this many silhouettes in modern comics nowadays. I feel like they don't. You know, you pick up an X-Men or Justice League, I don't think you see that many silhouettes. I mean, it's almost like one per page. This is kind of a fun story about Civil War times. And these Union troops are camping out at a plantation for the night in Confederate territory. And the captain defends the woman's honor by some of the ruffian lower officers, and of course, but he then takes advantage of their relationship, and then it was planned that she was going to blow themselves all up, blow up all the soldiers, and she winds up killing herself because she couldn't live with herself that she had carnal relations with the enemy. So here's a page. This is where now we have Alex is inking over Leo Summers. And it's great stuff. It's great. I would love to see the pencils to really see the difference. But it'd be fascinating too if Leo just drew this all out and then Alex is like, screw it, I'm just going to silhouette this. I think that would be actually pretty fun to know. Here's another guy, Alexis Romero. This is not normally Toth. You can just tell right away, like, this doesn't look like Toth. But then he like, Toth doesn't draw women like that necessarily, like the breasts like that. So that's why I was like taken back. Like, that doesn't quite look like the way he draws the breasts. But now I know why. It's because he just inked it. Oh, these faces, that looks like Toth. But that positioning doesn't quite look right like his. This is kind of a fun story about a magician. Okay, this is interesting because this is Carmen Infantino. And when I saw this, I'm like, what the heck? This looks so different. And Alex is doing Carmen Infantino. I'd love to know what kind of brush he's using, what kind of markers for some of this stuff. I always am curious on how to get those, like, marks just right. Kind of a fun story. I like that. It's really classic. Here's a survival one. This is the one that we had in the previous episode that was in the big book. So if you can see this here. Although I have more of a purplish tone. And then here's the one that I liked a lot that I want to share with you in the Erie. Yeah, that's a beautiful face. And you really get a chance to see the tones and stuff. Just love that chin for some reason. Just looks classic. Look at that. And this is a great one. I really like the faces of this stuff. So this is 2 years of work. It's all he did for this, but I think this is definitely a classic. This is some of the best stuff I think he's done. I always say that all the time. It's great work. Anyway, thanks a lot so much. I appreciate you guys watching. Please subscribe. Check out my other videos. I talk about other people besides Alex Toth, believe it or not. I even share my own stuff. So take a gander and have a safe, great day. Thanks, guys.